Assalamu alaikum, Assam publicans. How are you all doing today? I hope you all are having a great time at home and you are taking care of all the necessary precautions during this COVID-19 virus. So, as you all know that today we will be having our English literature class, okay? So hurry up, take out your books. This is the book we are reading. Remember, we are reading the lesson, The Lucky Nail, and we have almost finished the lesson. Only the last part is left. So today we will be inshallah finishing the last part of that lesson and then our first lesson will be complete. So hurry up students, take out your books and open to page number 15, okay? Hurry up, take out your wide range readers, Green Book 5 to page number 15, okay? So you remember the lucky nail? What was the story that we were reading last time? Let's have a quick review. Can you all see the names of those two children that were there? Yes, James and Susan, remember? So, where did we leave it last time? Let's see. James fixed the horseshoe with his lucky nail. Remember, there was a nail missing to fix the horseshoe, and when James took out the treasure from his pocket of different things, he had a lucky nail that he has kept for many years. And what did he do? He fixed the horseshoe with his lucky nail. James and Susan did not talk to the stranger and ran away. Remember, there was a stranger who came in to take the horse. The horse belonged to that stranger. And first, Susan tried to explain to him the situation, but then she thought, "Okay, why should I talk to a stranger in the middle of the night in such a dark time?" So they both ran back to their cottage. They traveled in a stagecoach with six other people. Then they left for Aunt Jenny and they were traveling in a stagecoach. What was a stagecoach? A horse-drawn coach that is drawn between two places usually on regular basis. It was a very long journey. They slept, they woke up, they talked, they played, they looked outside. Still the journey did not end. It was a very long journey. The stagecoach stopped with a jerk. Now remember the stay when the lady said that we are almost about to reach the stagecoach, almost stopped with a very hard jerk. The highwayman dressed in green coat with a loaded pistol asked everyone to step out of the coach. So what happened? The highwayman stopped them and the people were panicked because they knew that the highwayman will rob them. The highwayman is a robber, is a thief, okay, who steals people's things, okay? So let's continue reading. So have you all opened to page number 15? Okay, so we are going to start reading it. We left it here, remember, no one to disobey him. So we will start it from the last paragraph here. Okay, so I want you all to read with me and follow as I say with my instructions. Okay. Pale, fearful, and anxious, everyone stepped out of the coach and stood in a line on the dark road. So what happened? Everyone turned pale. They were very fearful. They were afraid. They were scared, and they all stand out on the dark road. The three chattering ladies chattered no more. So remember, there were three ladies who were continuously talking, and now they were all quiet because they were scared. And the two silent ones were as silent as ever. And the two ladies who were silent, they were still quiet. The old man murmured. What is the meaning of murmured? Murmured means to talk in a very low voice. Okay, so what did the old man murmur? Turn the page. Bad times. We are living in bad times. Why is he calling it bad times? Because they are being robbed. So if somebody is coming to steal your things, definitely you will say that, oh, this is a bad time right now that I'm being robbed. The twins stood at the end of the line looking small and frightened. So what happened? The twins were looking small and frightened. A little way off in the shadows, the highwayman's horse cropped at the grass. What is the meaning of cropped at the grass? Crop is to eat. Okay, he was eating the grass at a very cornered distance. Now, ladies and gentlemen, said the highwayman, kindly turn out your bags and pockets and hand me all your money, all your jewels, and anything else you have of value. So now the highwayman is asking those people to give them all of their valuable things because he's a thief. He's asking them for all the valuable things. Oh dear, sighed the first of the chattering ladies. Sigh is to talk in a low voice when you are sad about something. Chattering, and she gave up her necklace and her purse. So the first lady, what did she give it to the man? Her necklace, because definitely the necklace was expensive, and her purse, because the purse has money and valuables. You are a very wicked man, said the second. handing over rings and bracelets and a brooch. So again, the second lady also handed over the highwayman her valuable things that were rings, bracelets, and brooch. The third one fumbled so long in her bag. What is the meaning of fumbled? Fumbled is to find, to try to find something, in a very anxious way, in a very quick way, and she but not to find it. That the highwayman became a little less polite. He was growing impatient. Impatient is he was growing angry. He was turning, like, okay, hurry up. I don't have all the time to give it to you. So hurry up and give me all your things. The two silent ladies gave him their money and their treasures without a word, but the old man murmured, ah, we are living in bad times, very bad times. So all the six people who were in the stagecoach with the twins gave their valuables to the highwayman. Then it was the twins' turn. The highwayman faced them, still pointing the pistol. Now the highwayman turned towards the twins, James and Susan. Well, little ones, he said, and what may I have from you? Now he's looking that they're young and small children, so definitely they must not be having very valuable stuff. So he's just asking them, what can I have from you? James put his arm around Susan and whispered, we have nothing at all. Now remember, the kids were already, they did not belong to a very rich family and they were actually orphans. So they were like, they just hold each other and they were like, okay, well, we don't have anything. What can we give to this person? No money, said the highwayman. No pretty brooches and bracelets. Now he's asking that you are traveling and you don't have any money. You don't have any valuable necklaces, bracelets, brooches, rings. You don't have any jewelry, anything valuable. No, whispered James. Now James is straight away telling him that I don't have anything. At that moment, the moon crept out of the cloud and shone straight on the twins' faces. Now, because it was a dark night, so the faces were not clear. But at that same moment, when the highwayman was talking to the twins, the moon came out, and the highwayman got a chance to see the faces of the twins this time. Okay. So at that moment, yeah, okay, the highwayman stood still, staring at them through his mask. Now the highwayman is looking at them through his mask. Then he said, have you ever seen me before, little ones? Now he's asking them that have we met before? Have you seen me before? No, murmured James. No, murmured Susan. They both said, no, we have not seen you. We have never met you before. I think you have, replied the highwayman. Then he laughed and said gaily. So he laughed and he was actually smiling and he was looking at them that, oh, these twins don't remember, but actually we have met before. Ah, well, since you have nothing to give me, I will give you something to you. So now it's like a strange thing that is happening that the highwayman just looks at them and he says he recognizes the twins and he says, okay, you don't have anything to give me, but today I will give you something. So what is he going to give them? Let's see. He put his hand in his pocket and drew out a necklace. So what did he do? He take out a necklace from his pocket. Its stones were so bright that they sparkled and flashed in the moonlight. Sparkle is to shine brightly, okay? So he took out a very beautiful necklace which has the stones and they were shining, beautifully shining and sparkling like the stars on a string. It was such a beautiful necklace that even the two silent ladies gave a gasp of surprise. So they were also, they didn't, oh, that's beautiful. He held it up for a moment and then fastened it around Susan's neck. A present for you, little lady, he said. But for you, young man, I have nothing so fine. Only something of your own which you may have like to have back. So what is he doing? He gave Susan a beautiful necklace, but to James he said that I don't have any valuable thing to give to you, but I have something that is actually yours and I would like to return it to you. Maybe you would like to have it again. And into James' hand he put a small twisted nail, not dull like the other nails, but shining like copper or brass or maybe gold. So, my lucky nail, gasped James. So, what happened? That he gave back James his lucky nail which he had put into the horseshoe, remember? So, he remembers actually the twins, the stranger, although they did not talk to him, James and Susan, when they fixed the nail for the horse and they ran back. So, what was James surprised to see his lucky nail? But the highwayman was on his horse in a flash and was galloping away down the road. So what happened? As By the time James was having his nail and he just looked back to the highwayman had already left and on his horse at a very fast speed. Galloping is the fastest speed of a horse. For a moment, everyone stood staring at him. Then he merged into the shadows and was gone. And then because he was going very fast, so after an instant or in a while, nobody could see him and he was gone. It's the horse we helped out of the trap, murmured Susan. And my nail was lucky after all, said James. So now the kids are actually remembering that, okay, it's the same man, it's the same horse that they helped, and that is why he helped them back. And James now finally says that my nail was lucky. See, it was lucky for me that the highwayman, instead of robbing us, he gave us a necklace and gave me back my lucky nail. So definitely this is my lucky piece. That night, safe and warm in Aunt Jenny's house, the twins told their adventures. James showed his lucky nail to his wide-eyed cousins, and Susan pulled the necklace from under her dress. So now when they reached Aunt Jenny's, they discussed the whole trip, that what happened, how they were robbed by the highwaymen, but how did the highwaymen give them presents. I'll sell it, she said, and send the money to grandmother to pay her fare on the stagecoach. So now Susan has an idea that she will sell the necklace and send money to grandmother so that grandmother can also come. She unfastened the necklace and held it up in the lamplight. The stones were so bright that they sparkled and flashed like stars on a string. So you remember the necklace was very beautiful. It was very like sparkling and shining. How beautiful, exclaimed Aunt Jenny. It must be worth thousands of pounds. But you can't sell it, Susan dear. It isn't yours to sell. Now Aunt Jenny is a good lady, so she's telling her, you know, this twin that you can't sell it, dear, because it's not yours. We can only sell things and we can only take money from things that are ours. But this is definitely a robbed thing, because a highwayman cannot own it. He must have robbed it from somebody and he took it from somebody and he gave it to you. So it's not yours. So you can't sell it. It won't be a good thing, okay, to sell a stolen thing. The highwayman gave it to me, protested Susan. So Susan is not saying that, no, the highwayman gave it to me. It's a gift for me, so I can sell it. Yes, but he stole it from someone else, you see. Now, Aunt Jenny is telling her that, see, maybe he gave it to you, but it was not his. He did not buy it from money. He stole it from somebody. I suppose so, agreed Susan sadly. I know, shouted the eldest of the cousins suddenly. It belongs to the countess. So now we know that who the necklace belongs to, because the necklace was very beautiful. I heard the town crier say this other day that she had been robbed. You will have to take it back to her, Susan. She lives in the castle on the hill. She is very rich. Perhaps she will give you a reward. So the eldest of the cousins tells them that, oh, I remember that, there was this news I have heard that the countess has been robbed and somebody has stolen her necklace, and definitely this beautiful necklace belongs to the countess, and the countess lives in a castle, so you can go and give it to her, and maybe because she sees you doing a good deed, she will reward you. She will give you something, a precious out of it. The countess did give Susan a reward, and Susan and James were able to send enough money to grandmother after all. So grandmother arrived at Aunt Jenny's house quite soon. So you see, now finally, what happened that they got the necklace back to the countess, and the countess was very happy, and she rewarded Susan with present and with the reward. And what did she do with the reward? She asked grandmother to come over, and so the grandmother came over. Now I want to hear all about your adventures, she said, hugging the twins. It's a very long story, laughed James. It's called The Lucky Nail. Yes, added Susan, nodding her head, and everyone lives happily ever after. So, what happened that as Aunt Jenny could not afford grandmother's stagecoach fare, so she couldn't come at that time. But now when Susan had the money, she sent it, and grandmother came over, and now they all lived happily together forever. Okay, and what did the children tell their story with the name? They said our story is called The Lucky Nail, because James was now actually very much confident that his lucky nail turned out to be very lucky. Because of it, they got the reward from the highwayman, and because of that reward which they returned to the countess gave them a reward too. Okay, so you can see the difficult word meanings here, beta. It is called crop to graze off the tops of the plants, fumbled to try to hold, move or find something, gaily in a joyful, cheerful or happy manner, sparkled, flash, gleam to shine brightly. Okay. So let's do the questions and answers. But before I do the questions and answers, I want you people to know that have you all understood the story well so far? Why was it called the lucky nail? Who's the story about? What is happening in the story? I hope everything is very clear. Okay, if there is any question, go through the lectures again, read the lesson thoroughly. You will understand it. Okay. So, what did the highwayman give present to Susan? Yes, we just read it. The highwayman gave a bright and sparkling necklace to Susan. What present did the highwayman give to James? The highwayman gave a small twisted nail shining like copper to James. What type of family had Aunt Jenny? Aunt Jenny had a jolly family, a happy family. Who was the owner of the necklace? The countess was the owner of the necklace. Okay, these are very short question answers and I hope they all are clear. So let's have a critical review. What is a critical review? A critical review is when you see what is actually the moral of the story, or what is the story actually telling you, what is the lesson you're getting from the story, what is actually the idea behind the story. So what lesson do you learn from the story? We learn from the story that we should always be willing to extend a helping hand to others. We are rewarded somehow or other for being kind to others. The quality of mercy always pays. So, as you know, we always believe in our religion as well that when you're good to somebody, that goodness is always returned. If you are bad to somebody, the badness returns to you. Okay, so be good to everybody. Be helpful. If you are good, kind, helpful, generous, Allah Ta'ala will inshallah be very kind and merciful to you himself, and he will make the people around you also, you know, the same with you. Okay, so be nice and kind and generous, and whenever you do a good deed, you are always rewarded for it in some way or the other. Okay, so always be good and nice. Okay, reference to the context. Well, little ones, and what may I have from you? So you remember these lines we just read. Who said these lines? First of all, we'll do from which lesson the above lines have been taken. The above lines has been taken from the lesson, The Lucky Nail. Who is the speaker? The highwayman is the speaker. And who were the little ones? The little ones were James and Susan. And what did he want from the little ones? He wanted money or valuables from the little ones. Because see, when he said these words, by this time, he had not seen their faces, and so he did not know that these were the same twins. So he was at that time asking them for the valuables. But it was only after that that when he saw the faces and he recognized, so he gave them presents. Okay? Understood? Okay, so you have to maintain the index, you have to write down the topics we have done today, that is the question answers, critical review and RTC. Then please put the date when you are doing your work. And I hope today we have completed the first lesson, the lucky nail. I hope the lesson is well understood. It's a very simple story of two twins that are James and Susan, who live with their grandmother, and then because the grandmother cannot afford their living, she can only pay for their food, so she decides to send them to Aunt Jenny. Aunt Jenny says that I can only pay the stagecoach fare for the twins. So the twins are only to leave. But before they leave, what happened the night before? They see a horse who was crying out of pain, and they go into the field to help the horse. The horse foot was trapped in a rabbit trap. So when they take out the foot, they find that the horseshoe is missing one nail, and James fixes the horseshoe with his lucky nail. But by that time, a strange man comes in, and so the twins run away from there. And then they leave in the stagecoach, but when they are about to reach Aunt Jenny's home, the stagecoach is robbed by the highwayman. But when the highwayman sees that the twins are the same children who has helped his horse 2-3 days back, so rather than taking any valuable things from them, he rewards them with a necklace and gives back James his lucky nail. And so when Susan takes the necklace to the countess, who's the real owner of the necklace, the countess gives her a reward, and now she has enough money to call grandmother. And so they all live happily ever after with Aunt Jenny. Okay. So I hope the whole story is clear. And now if you have any questions, you can refer back to the lectures. Take care of yourself. Have a very pleasant day. Allah Hafiz.